America is India's largest importer, and it gives them a great deal of leverage over that country. And right now, the Economic Times is reporting that there is no sign of tariff relief for India on this U.S. trade mission. And April 2nd, Liberation Day, is when a huge swath of these tariffs are going to be hitting India and a bunch of other countries. But America is most likely going to take it easy on India for a couple big reasons. The first reason is the one that gives America so much leverage over the country. We do import 18% of all of India's exports, so we are reliant on what they have to give us or sell us. So we do rely on India for a lot of mineral oils, distillation fuels, pearls, electrical equipment, very low grade, but still we rely on it. But we do import a lot of their pharmaceuticals and organic chemicals, which is about 10% of all of India's exports. But the number one reason why this administration will take it easy on India is China. More than any other country in Asia, the United States relies on India to be a buffer against China. We have security agreements with India against any Chinese incursions. In fact, we give them a lot of our intel on where the Chinese troops are trying to make incursions into India to quietly take some of that land. It has 1.4 billion people. They are even more populous than China. They have a young population. They have a very skilled and talented population, and we rely on a lot of Indian immigration to fill very high demand jobs. Are the fourth largest economy, but within a decade they'll probably be the third. So it would make no sense for this administration to economically weaken a country that we are relying on for our future and the curtailing of a huge potential threat. India has already announced quite clearly that they are ready to play ball. They have already announced tariff cuts against US imports. And that is a huge deal if you look at India's average weighted tariff rate. They have the highest rate in the G20 countries, 12%. India wages high tariffs against almost everybody because they know they are a very large economy with a huge population and a lot of resources, so they should be developing their own industries. But take a look at this chart. You will notice that the most developed countries, China, the UK, Japan, the US, they have very low average tariff rates. That should tell you something big. In fact, the only developed country that has very high tariffs is South Korea, 8.4%. That's the exception, not the rule. And if you dig a little deeper, it's my opinion that these tariffs are threatened against India, not just because of India's tariffs, but they want to have leverage over this country to make sure that they could punish Russia if they have to. While Ukraine has made it very clear that they are willing to negotiate on a ceasefire, the Putin administration has stonewalled. And if Russia doesn't start complying, then their two largest oil purchasers, India and China, are going to be hit with sanctions by the United States. So the potential threat of higher tariffs and sanctions against India may be just a leverage play. Now, the United States has to be able to entice India with something sweet if they want to wean India off of Russian oil. For all we know, the threat of not tariffing India may be enticing enough, but if India knows that China will get increased tariffs while India gets protected, then that helps India gain a sharper economic advantage over their eastern neighbor. Maybe as China keeps swearing itself off of American goods, India can fill some of that void. Because even though China and India don't really like each other, they still trade. In fact, 3.8% of India's exports do go to China. In the end, I think India and the United States have so many more interests in common that they are going to find a way to negotiate out of this. I am the Geo Husar, and sign up for my book club. Thanks for watching.